Okay. At the time of last lecture, we have started this natural coordinate system for two-dimensional simplex element. That means how to write the interposition polynomial in terms of the natural coordinate system. For writing the interposition polynomial in terms of the natural coordinate system, first we should know what are the natural coordinates for two-dimensional element. Okay, for two-dimensional simplex element or for two-dimensional triangular element. Now, for that purpose, I will take one triangular element. Now, before going to do this, I will draw the figure here. This is the triangular element. You can say this is the triangular element. Okay, it is a two-dimensional simplex element. Okay, now this is your node number 1. This is node number 2. Okay, and this is node number 3. These are the 3 nodes, and it is two-dimensional triangular element. Now, global coordinates in xy coordinate system, if we consider this as a x-axis, and if we consider this as a y-axis, in xy coordinate system, coordinates of this node are x1, y1. Coordinates of this node number 1 are x1, y1. Coordinates of node number 2 are x2, y2. Okay, and coordinates of node number 3 are x3, y3. These are the global coordinates. Of node 1, 2 and 3. Now, our aim is to define the natural coordinates. For defining the natural coordinates, now natural coordinates are the coordinates which can or which are element or local to element. Okay. For defining the natural coordinates, what I will do, I will take one point on the element. Suppose this is a P point on the element. Okay. Now coordinates of P are xy in global coordinate system. That means global coordinates of P are xy. Okay, this is a point P. Okay, this is point P. It is a element on the point on the element. Point on this element. This total triangle is one element, and this is one point on the element. Okay. Now I want to define the local coordinates. For defining the local coordinates, what I will do, I will join this point P with the nodes. I will join this point P with the nodes with the straight lines. Okay. I will join point P with the node number 1, node number 2, and node number 3. Next, what I will do, I will mark this is point P. I will mark this as a area A1, which is opposite to the node number 1, or it is the area formed by joining the point P, node number 2 and 3. Next, I will write this as a area A2, and this is the area formed by the triangle or formed by the connecting points P1, 3 or 3P1. Okay. Now this is suppose A3. This is the area opposite to node number 3, or it is the area found by point P1, 3. I will change the color of P. This is your P point. Okay, this one is A3 over. Now local coordinates of the P are defined in the form of area ratios. How these are defined, I will show you. See here, there are 3 local coordinates for the point P. Now if you see this point P, it is dividing this triangular element in 3 parts, or in the 3 triangles. Now local coordinates of the point P are L1, next is L2, and next is L3. These are the 3 natural or local coordinates of the point P. Okay. Now this L1 is defined as A1 upon A1 upon A, A1 upon A. Next, L2 is defined as A2 upon A2 upon A. Okay. Here A is the total area of the triangular element, and this L3 is defined as A3 upon A, A3 upon A. Okay. Now you can see here natural coordinate P has natural coordinate P has natural coordinates L1, L2, L2 and L3. It has three natural coordinates L1, L2, L3. Okay, L1, L2, L3. And first natural coordinate is defined by the area opposite to node number 1 divided by total area of the triangle. Second natural coordinate, it is defined by area opposite to node number 2 divided by total area of the triangle. L3 is A3 upon A. Okay, these are the natural coordinates of point P. Here global coordinates are xy. Okay, now see here your point P is variable point, xy values are variable. You can move that point at any location and you can find the values of the natural coordinates of that point P. Now see here, if I move the point P to node number 1, point P to the node number 1, then you can see here when this point P is at this location, here this line, I will change the color. This line and this line are coinciding with this line. Okay, when P point is coming here, this A2 will be 0 and this A3 will be 0. Okay, means this line will be 0 and this line will coincide with the 1 3 and this line will coincide with the 1 2, and in this situation your A1 is equal to A, A1 is equal to A. Okay, so here first natural coordinate of point node number 1 is 1 because as A1 is equal to A. Now if we go to the second natural coordinate, A2 becomes 0, A3 becomes 0. Therefore second natural coordinate is 0 and third natural coordinate is also 0. Already we have discussed it. Same thing when we go for the node number 2. If we go to the node number 2, I will erase this one and again I will show you. Now see here, you have point P is here, point P is here. Now initial position was of point P is here. Okay, this is for dividing the triangular element. Now when point P is shifted from this location to this location here, okay, then this A1 will be 0 and this A3 will be 0 and A2 is equal to A, A2 is equal to A. Okay, therefore here second natural coordinate is 1 and first natural coordinate, as A1 becomes 0, first natural coordinate is 0 and third natural coordinate is also 0. Okay, now same thing will happen here. Here you will get the 0, 0 and 1 as a natural coordinates of node number 3. Now I will show you, it is in clear. You can see here. If you have doubt in this figure, you can ask me. If you have doubt in anything, I will explain it. Can anyone explain it? Shubham Patil, can you explain it? Shubham Patil. Rishikesh Dore. Rishikesh Dore. Can you hear me? Akshay Patil. Akshay Patil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Where is Rishikesh Dore?
Hello.
Can you explain this? Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain it?
सर समजलंय पण सर जे असं
सांगू शकत.
एवढं
Okay.
परफेक्टली म्हणजे असं सांगताय ना पण समजलंय.
Okay. Now see here. Here, this point is suppose 1 point. This is a node number 1. Okay. You have triangular element, and this triangular element has node number 1, 2, 3. Okay. That means this complete triangle is a one element. Complete triangle is one element. Now, here, this node number 1 has coordinates x1, y1. Node number 2 has coordinates x2, y2. Node number 3 has coordinates x3, y3. Okay. Now I want to define the natural coordinates for this. Natural coordinates for this element. Now for defining the natural coordinates means what? It is going to define the position of any point on the element. Okay. For defining the position of any point on the element, I will take the point P. I will take the point P on this element. Okay. Point P on the element. Now next one, here point P has global coordinates xy. xy. Now initially I will take the notations L1, L2, L3 as a natural coordinates or local coordinates of point P. Now what I will do, I want to calculate the, or I want to find the natural coordinates. For finding the natural coordinates, I have divided this triangular element, not triangle, this triangular element in three triangles, and that I have divided with the help of this point P. Okay, what I have done, I have joined point P with the nodes. That means 1 to P, P to 2, and P to 3. I have drawn three lines. Okay. Now when we draw these three lines, this triangular element is divided into three triangles. Okay. This is area of the first triangle. Suppose it is A1, and that area I have taken opposite to node number 1. Okay. Now next one, A2 is the area opposite to node number 2. A3 is the area opposite to node number 3. Okay. Do you agree with this? Now I will write the definitions of natural coordinates L1, L2, L3. See here, L1 is equal to A1 upon A, L2 is equal to A2 upon A, L3 is equal to A3 upon A. With the help of these coordinates, we can define the position of point P in the element. Okay. When we move the P from its location, that natural coordinates will be changed. Okay. That means this P is variable. When we move this P from here to here, this A1 will be changed, A2 will be changed, A3 will be changed. And when we change this L1 will be changed, L2 will be changed, L3 will be changed. Now you see here, I have written these definitions for natural coordinates A1 upon A, A2 upon A, A3 upon A, where A is the area of the triangular element. Okay. Have you got up to here? Akshay Shinde. Have you got up to here?
Yes, sir.
Now Madhurkar, if I move this point P on node number 1, when I move this point P on node number 1, now what will happen with A2? A2 will become 0. Am I right? A3 will become 0. Okay. That means when P is moving on node number 1, that is, I have shifted this point P from its location to node number 1. Okay. Now when
Hello.
it moves here, yes.
2ला येतो की 2ला लेक्चर मध्ये.
Yes.
2 वाजता येतो.
अक्षय तुझा मायक्रोफोन ऑफ कर. Akshay. Now when we move this point P to the node number 1, here A2 becomes 0, A3 becomes 0, and when A3 and A2 become 0, this A1 equal to A. Here at this location, A1 equal to A. A1 equal to A. So you will get L1 is equal to 1. Now A2 is 0, A3 is 0. Therefore L2 is equal to 0, and here A3 is also 0, therefore L3 is also 0. These are the natural coordinates of node number 1. Okay, these are the natural coordinates of node number 1. Now next one, when we move P point to the node number 2, now when I move this P point to node number 2, this A1 becomes 0 here. This A1 becomes 0 at node number 2. Also A3 becomes 0. Okay, and this P point is shifted to this location. Okay, when it's shifted to this location, here this A1 becomes 0, A3 becomes 0, and A2 is equal to A. A2 is equal to A. At this location, A2 is equal to A. Okay, that is area of the element. Now as A1 becomes 0, your first natural coordinate is A1 by A, it is 0. Second natural coordinate, it is A by A, it is 1, and third natural coordinate, it is A3 by A. As A3 is 0, again it is 0. Okay, now next one, if I move this point P, from this location to node number 3, now when it is moving from this to this, here A1 becomes 0, A2 becomes 0, and you will get A3 is equal to, here your A3 is equal to A. And when A3 is equal to A, and A1 and A2 are 0, therefore your L1 is equal to 0, L2 is equal to 0, and L3 is equal to 1. Okay, have you got this? Akshay Dore, sorry, Rishikesh Dore, Ajay Madhurkar, have you got it? Madhurkar, Aditya Mane, Amol Patil, Aditya Mane, you tell. Aditya Mane, have you got it?
Sir,
Yes.
sir,
Amol
2
Patil,
minutes. Ah, yes, sir. Hello.
have you got it?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Next, Dheeraj Chavan. Dheeraj Chavan,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
have you
Yes,
got
sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
Kunal Patil,
Understood, sir.
सर नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लेम आहे सर माझा.
okay. Pandit, have you got it? Pandit Srinivas, Pandit. Okay, I will mark the absent of this one. Now,
Yes, sir. I got it.
okay, now see here, I will clear this now. Next one. Now if you observe this element, and if you take the A as the area of the element, then by dividing this area into 3 parts with the help of this point P, you got the 3 triangles, and addition of areas of 3 triangles, that is A1 plus A2 plus A3, it is equal to A. Do you agree with this equation? A is equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3. Okay. Now I will add these 3 terms. I will add these 3 natural coordinates. That means I will take the addition of L1 plus L2 plus L3. L1 plus L2 plus L3. It is equal to the A1 plus A1 by A plus A2 by A plus A3 by A. But addition of a1 plus a2 plus a3, it is equal to a. So it becomes a by a by a. Okay, this is equal to a by a. Okay, so a by a is 1. We agree with this. Therefore, addition of natural coordinates at any point on the element is equal to 1. Have you got this equation number 2? Rishikesh Kumbar, have you got equation number 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will move to the next. Now, next what I will do, see here, in one-dimensional element, we have what we have seen, natural coordinates of the element are shape functions. Here also I will prove the same thing. For getting the proof of this, what I will do, I will calculate the, okay, this I have already explained. Now, what I will do, I will calculate the natural coordinate. Now, first, L1 is equal to A1 upon A. L1 is equal to A1 upon A. For calculation of this A1 upon A, first I will calculate the A1 and then I will calculate the A. Now, one more thing I want to tell you here. Here, A1 upon A, can I write this as 2A1 upon A, sorry, 2A1 upon 2A. Okay, see here, this is equivalent to the 2A1 upon 2A because I have multiplied by 2 to the numerator as well as denominator. Okay, so it becomes 2A1 upon A. Now, what I will do, I will calculate this L1. For calculation of L1, I have to calculate the A1. Now, A1 is this area. You see this one, this area, triangle P2 3 or 3P2, area of triangle 3P2, it is your A1. Area of triangle 3P2, it is your A1. Now, how we can calculate this area? Now, we know the coordinates of this point P are X and Y. We know the coordinates of point P are X, Y. Okay, here this is X, Y, this is X2, Y2, and this is X3, Y3. I want to calculate this A1, that is P2, 3 or 3P2. Okay, now you see here, for calculation of this area of triangle P2, 3, it is equal to 2A1. Can I write this equation? You check it, whether it is correct or wrong. Pandit, whether it is correct? It is determinant of the matrix formed by the coordinates of the coordinates. You can see here, I will show you. See here, 2A1, this one, 2A1. Now, coordinates of P are X, Y. Coordinates of P are X, Y. So, your first row is 1XY. Now, second point is node number 2. And its coordinates are X2, Y2. So, second row is 1X2, Y2. And third is 1X3, Y3. So, area of the triangle P23, that is 2A1, it is equal to the determinant of this coordinates. Already you have seen this. With the help of determinant, we can find the area of the triangle. Okay. Now I will calculate the area of the triangle. Now I will calculate the determinant. Now for calculation of the determinant, see here this is the equation for the determinant. You can see here I have calculated the determinant by taking product of this one. First is X2, Y3 minus X3, Y2. Okay, this is first term. Second term, X minus X into Y3 minus Y2. Okay, I have taken minus sign inside the bracket, so it becomes Y2 minus Y3 and into X. Third term plus X3 minus X2 into Y, or Y into X3 minus Y. Sorry, X3 minus X2. Okay, this is the determinant. Do you agree with this determinant? Shreyas Chowle, do you agree with this determinant? Mahesh Zalte. Mahesh.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Whether this determinant is correct or wrong.
Wait, sir.
And this 2a1, this equation, whether this equation and this is correct or wrong.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sir,
बोला.
ते second term सांगा की y2 minus y3
Okay,
into
I will.
bracketed into x.
2a बरोबर आहे, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
2a बरोबर आहे. हे
2a1 बरोबर आहे ना.
determinant.
Now use
Determinant.
Akshay, this term na. You see
Yes, sir. Yes.
here I will write here minus x. Am I right? So x into
हाँ, okay, okay. हाँ.
y3 minus y2. Okay. Now I will take this minus sign inside this bracket. It becomes x into y2 minus y3. Okay. Now you see this term and this term. Okay. Now after this, what is this? What is this? I think if you remember this one, if you recall this one from the problems which we have solved, this one, and this one. Now it is xjyk. Am I right? And xkyj. What is it? A1 or AI. Okay. Do you agree with this? Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
And this second one is bix. Am I right? yj minus yk. It is bi x, and this plus this x3 minus x2. It is your ci. It is your ci into y. Okay. Have you got it? Now already you have seen these equations. Here, this one, this first term is your ai. Second term is, I have written here a1. Okay, it may be a1, it may be ai. Same, just subscript I have changed. It is a1 plus b1x plus c1y. Over. Have you got it? Now, if you are doubt in this equation, you can ask me. This equation, I have already explained lot of times this equation. Okay. Next, this is your 2a1. This is your 2a1. Now next one. Now for calculation of L1, what we need? We need A also. A, that is total area. Now what I will do? I will calculate the 2a. Now 2a is your determinant of 1x1 y1, 1x2 y2, 1x3 y3. Already you have seen it. It is area of the element. Now next one, what I will do? I will calculate the L1. Now here L1 is equal to 2a1 divided by 2a. Okay. Now if you put these values in this equation, it becomes a1 plus b1x plus c1y into, you have 1 upon 2a. What is it? It is a shape function. n1. Am I right? It is shape function n1. Okay. Now I will show you. You see this one. L1 is equal to 1 upon 2a. a1 plus b1x plus c1y, and it is your shape function n1. Okay. Have you got it? L1 is equal to n1. Same thing when we repeat for L2 and L3. I will not repeat these calculations. Same thing when we repeat for L2 and L3. You will get the same type of equation, and you will get the local coordinate L2 is equal to n2 and L3 is equal to n3. Now same thing which we have done for one-dimensional element. Local coordinates L1 L2 is equal to n1 n2. Here you have three natural coordinates L1, L2, L3, and that are equal to the shape functions N1, N2, N3. Okay, this is first thing. Second thing, if I take this as a addition of L1, L2, L3, you know this equation, it is equal to 1. Now one more equation we have used in case of one dimensional element. What is that equation? That equation is here any variable point x equal to the L1 x1 plus L2 x2. Okay, L1 x1 is equal to L2 x2. Now this is for one dimensional. Now how we can apply this for two dimensional, and whether it is correct or wrong, that we will check. What we will do, we will write first equations, then we will prove it. Okay, now first I will write the equations here. You see here I have written these two equations. It is just the extension of one dimensional element. So here in case of one dimensional element, only one coordinate is there and only two natural coordinates are there, and that equation is up to here. Okay, now for two dimensional element, it is one more node is there, that is three nodes are there and three natural coordinates are there and two global coordinates are there. Therefore we will get the two equations here for x and for y. Okay, now what I will do, I will consider this equation. Now I have not given the proof of these equations, these two equations. Now I want to prove these equations, Now first I have written these equations, then I will prove it. Okay, now what I will do, I will write these three equations in matrix form. You see here how I have written these three equations in matrix form. You can see here, you see this first equation, 1 is equal to L1 plus L2 plus L3. Am I right? Now second equation, x is equal to L1 x1 plus L2 x2 plus L3 x3. Third equation, y is equal to L1 y1 plus L2 y2 plus L3 y3. Okay, have you got these three equations in matrix form? ऋषिकेश डोरे आहेत का? पंडित?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now have you got these three equations? Now what I will do, see here, from these equations I will calculate the L1, L2, L3, and I will compare this L1, L2, L3 with the shape functions. Okay, if you get the calculation or calculated L1, L2, L3 from these three equations equal to the shape functions N1, N2, N3, then this your equation number 4 and 5 are correct equations. Okay, that means we can say x is equal to L1 x1, L2 x2 plus L3 x3, and y is equal to L1 y1 plus L2 y2 plus L3 y3. Okay, now for calculation of L1, L2, L3, you have to take the inverse of this matrix. Okay, now for inverse of this matrix, I will show you. Now see here, this is L1, L2, L3 is equal to 1, 1, 1, x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, inverse 1, xy. Now again you go for the cofactor approach and calculate the inverse. Now that inverse you will get. I will not repeat the inverse of this. Okay, you try it yourself. Okay. Now this is inverse of this matrix 1, 1, 1, x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, and this is inverse of that X matrix, and L1, L2, L3 is equal to this into 1, x1, y1. Now you see here this inverse I will take on next slide. Okay, now if I write the equation for L1, what you will get here, x2, y3 plus y2, y3 into x plus x3 minus x2 into y, okay, and whole divided by 2a. Now what is this? You see here, what is this? You see here, this is your first term, a 1, because it is xj minus yk and xk minus yj. This is your yj minus yk. This is your xk minus xj. Okay. Now same thing here, it is xk yi xi yk. Okay. This is your ai. This is your bi, or we can write it is b1, and this is your c1. This one is your A2, okay, this is your B2, this is your C2, and this is your A3, B3, C3. You can compare the equations with the equations which we have calculated while deriving the shape functions. Okay. Now these are the equations for these constants. Okay, and I can write this. I can replace this A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Okay, that means I can replace these terms in the coordinates form with the constants, and I can write L1 is equal to I will write 1 upon 2a A1 B1 plus C1 A2 B2 C2 A3 B3 C3. Is it correct? अक्षय पाटील बरोबर आहे ना? अक्षय पाटील.
Yes sir, बरोबर आहे.
Okay. Now see here. Now if you consider the first equation, what is first equation? First equation is 1 upon 2a A1 plus B1x plus C1y. Okay. So your L1 is equal to 1 upon 2a A1 plus B1x plus C1y, and that is your shape function N1. Okay. L2 is equal to 1 upon 2a A2 plus B2x plus C2y, that is your shape function N2. And L3 is equal to 1 upon 2a A3 plus B3x plus C3y, that is your equation number, or it is your N3, shape function number N3. Okay. Now see here, if these shape functions we got from the equations which we have taken, that is x is equal to L1 x1 plus L2 x2 plus L3 x3, and y is equal to L1 y1 plus L2 y2 plus L3 y3, means your assumed equations are correct equations. That means variation of the geometry we can write with the help of these equations. That means these equations are correct equations. Okay, these equations are correct equations. Okay, that means these equations are proved. Okay, now you see here, these are the shape functions. Now in interpolation polynomial in the form of global coordinate system, what we have done, we have taken phi xy is equal to n1 phi 1 plus n2 phi 2 plus n3 phi 3. Okay, n1 phi 1 plus n2 phi 2 plus n3 phi 3. Now n1 is equal to L1, n2 is equal to L2, okay, and n3 is equal to L3. So I can write phi is equal to L1 phi 1 plus L2 phi 2 plus L3 phi 3. Okay, now these both equations are correct because your L1 is equal to N1, L2 is equal to N2, L3 is equal to N3. Okay, now next one more thing I have told you while taking the while writing the interpolation polynomial in terms of the local coordinate system for one dimensional element, that is here I have written x is equal to L1 x1 plus L2 x2 plus L3 x3, and y is equal to L1 x1 plus L2 x2 plus L3 x3. Now here if I replace here N1 and L1 L2 L3 by N1 N2 N3, I will get x is equal to N1 x1 plus N2 x2 plus N3 x3. See here, this is same to the one dimensional element, just the extension of one dimensional element, and y is equal to N1 x1 y1 plus N2 y2 plus N3 y3. Okay, do you agree with this? Now here these shape functions are used to write the variation of interpolation polynomial or variation of the field variable. Okay, and this
Hello, sir.
shape function. Yes, yes,
Hello, sir.
yes.
सर तिथं तुम्ही वरती y लिहिलाय त्याला L1 X1 केलंय आणि पुन्हा खाली
Yes.
जो आपण रिप्लेस
Yes,
केला
yes.
तिथं पण
Sorry.
हा.
Here it should be y1, y2. Yes, you have good observation. Okay, y is equal to L1 y1 plus L2 y2 plus L3 y3. By mistake, I have written x1 x2. It is y1 y2 y3. That is L1 y1 plus L2 y2 plus L3 y3. Okay. Now x is equal to n1 x1 plus n2 x2 plus n3 x3. Y is equal to n1 y1 plus n2 y2 plus n3 y3. Okay. Now next one you see here this shape function or this is a variation of the field variable. Now we have used the shape functions n1, n2, n3 for variation of the field variable over the element. Okay, here these are the coordinates of the element or coordinates of the points on the element, or these are the global coordinates. We have written the variation of the global coordinates by using the shape functions. Now what is the type of element when we use same shape function for variation of the field variable for variation of the geometry? Already I have told you, in case of one-dimensional element, what is that type of element? It is isotropic element. It is isotropic element. You have to remember this. See here, if we use same shape function for variation of the field variable over the element as well as for variation of the geometry of the element, then it is known as isoparametric element. Isoparametric element. Okay. Isoparametric element. Already I have shown you in case of one-dimensional element, isoparametric element. Okay, this is isoparametric element because same shape functions we have used for variation of the field variable as well as variation of the geometry. Okay. Now here what we can say? We can say that is linear triangular element is isoparametric element. And see here one more thing I want to tell you here. If you extend it for three-dimensional element, then also you will get a linear three-dimensional element is also isoparametric element. But if we go for higher order elements, it may not be isoparametric elements. Okay. Now next one. Now see here for calculation of the stress. See here generally for strain or for thermal gradient. If you use this element for thermal analysis, then your equation is for the temperature. This phi will be replaced by temperature. If we go for structural problem, this phi will be replaced by U and V. Okay. Now here this is a displacement and this is a temperature and this is a general field variable. Okay. Now when we go for the thermal problem, if you want to calculate the temperature gradient, what we have to do? We have to differentiate this T with respect to X. Okay. And when we want to calculate the strain in the element, when we use it for structural analysis, then we have to differentiate this U with respect to X, and V with respect to Y, V with respect to Y, or U with respect to Y, or V with respect to X. That means we need the derivative of field variables with respect to global coordinates. We need the derivative of the field variables with respect to global coordinates. See here because here strain or thermal gradient, these are not or these we cannot write in terms of the natural coordinates. Okay, we have to differentiate it with respect to global coordinates. Okay, because it is not limited to the elements, it is limited to the whole domain. Okay. Now for getting the derivative of this one, see here, if you want to calculate the d phi by dx or d phi by dy, here this phi we have written in terms of the L1, L2, L3. That means your phi is function of L1, L2, L3. Okay. and L1, L2, L3 are the functions of x and y. Already we have written the equation for x, and already we have written the equation for L1, L2, L3. Okay, L1, L2, L3 are the functions of x and y, and phi is function of L1, L2, L3 here. Okay, now when we want to write the derivative for this phi, you have to differentiate, or you have to use the chain rule of the derivative. For here, how we can use the chain rule of the derivative? So here d phi by dx is equal to d phi by dl1 into dl1 by dx plus d phi by dl2 by d phi by dl2. Okay, now you can see here how I can write derivative of this. Here summation of d phi by dli by dx. Okay, now how it is written? It is written like this. You see here d phi by dx, it is equal to the d phi by dl1 by dx. Here derivative of phi with respect to L2, derivative of L2 with respect to x, derivative of phi with respect to L3, derivative of phi L3 with respect to x. This transformation or this chain rule we have to use for calculation of the derivative. Okay, now this is not here important, but it will be important when we go for higher order elements. Okay, now one more thing we need for calculation of the stiffness matrix, that is the stiffness matrix as well as load vectors, that is the integration of the shape functions or integration of the natural coordinates. Now how you can calculate the integration of natural coordinates in case of two-dimensional element? For one-dimensional element, here L1 raised to alpha, L2 raised to beta, that is equal to the alpha factorial, beta factorial divided by alpha plus beta plus 1 factorial into L, and that is integration of that natural coordinates over the length. Now here we have defined the coordinates in terms of the areas. Therefore, its integration is over the area, and that integration is given by this equation. You see here alpha factorial, beta factorial, gamma factorial. Gamma because there are three natural coordinates. You have to remember this. This is for two-dimensional, and last time what we have taken, it is for one-dimensional element. Okay. Now what is difference between that two? Here in place of 1, here there is a 2, and one more gamma is added here because of third natural coordinate, and in place of length there is a 2 into area. For one-dimensional element, it is L1 raised to alpha, okay, L2 raised to beta, okay, and this equal to alpha factorial, beta factorial, okay, divided by alpha plus beta plus 1, it's a factorial, 1 should be there. 1, its factorial into you have L. You see here this is for one-dimensional and this is for two-dimensional. Okay. Over. Have you got it? If you have doubt, you can ask me. See here this is important for two-dimensional elements. I will waiting for your questions. I am waiting for your questions. Oh, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Have you got it?
Yes, sir. समझ sir.
मधुरकर, अजय मधुरकरला सांगा आज absent होणार आहे म्हणून. ऋषिकेश ढोरे.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you got it? Got it?
Got it, sir.
Okay. Next. If anyone has doubt, you can ask me. प्रत्येकाचं मी नाव घेत बसण्यापेक्षा तुम्ही डाऊट असतो. Now, next one. Now I will see here. This one is the equation for the interposition polynomial in terms of the natural coordinate system. Okay. Now here it is function of L1, L2. Okay. and L1, L2 is the function of x and y. Now, after that, we will go for the numericals on this. Now, calculate the, see here, same problem which we have solved for one-dimensional element. That same problem I am going to take here for two-dimensional element. Calculate the following integration: n transpose n. I will complete here for 2D CST element. CST means simplex element, or it is a constant triangle element, constant strain triangle element. Okay, for 2D CST element, calculate this integration. How you can calculate? You can anyone tell? ऋषिकेश डोरे समजले ना कसं काढायचं सांगा आता. Now what is n for triangular element? Shape function matrix for triangular element. Can you tell me? Shape function matrix for triangular element. ऋषिकेश डोरे तुला विचारलंय.
Yes, sir.
Yes, n. N is equal to shape function matrix for two-dimensional element. Two-dimensional element, already you have seen it. It is n1, n2, n3. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now you put this in this equation. In this equation, transpose of this. See here, this is a row matrix. It becomes column matrix. Now column matrix is here n transpose n becomes n1, n2, n3, n1, n2, n3 because of this one into integration over dA. Now what is product of this? Shreyas Chougule, what is product of this? You tell me. Shreyas Chougule. Akshay Shinde. What is product of this? Yes, what is product of this?
n1 square
N1 square
minus
okay minus product n1 square first term, first into this first into this second, first into this third. It is your first row. That is n1, n2, next n1, n3.
N3.
Okay. Now second row
n2 n1
n1 and okay n2 n1 or n1 n2. Okay, you can write anything. Next one
n2 square
n2 square. Next one n2
n3
n3. Now next you will get this product. You can see here. Is it correct? This product. Now I want to calculate the integration of this. Now what I have to do? I have to take integration inside the bracket. Inside the bracket before going to see here. It is not simple thing because your shape function equation is 1 upon 2a into a plus b x plus cy, and integration of that it becomes very complicated thing. Do you agree with this? Because we are going to do the square of this, and then we have to calculate the integration. Okay, with the help of your natural coordinate system, this integration becomes very simple. How it becomes simple, I will tell you. See here, if you want to calculate direct integration, that is integration of n1 square, your n1 equation is what? It is 1 upon 2a into a1 plus b1x plus c1y. Okay, c1y and whole square. Integration of this is a first term. Okay, over dA area. Over dA. See here, you can see here, it is integration of over dA means it is integration over dx dy. It is very complicated thing, calculation of integration, and this becomes very simple when we use natural coordinate system. Now what I have to do? I have to replace this shape functions by natural coordinates. How I can replace? Here you know the equation n1 is equal to L1, n1 is equal to L1, n2 is equal to L2, okay, and n3 is equal to L3, okay. Now you replace this shape functions by L1, L2, L3. Now your equation becomes L1 square, L1, L2, L1, L3. Next L1, L2, L2 square, L2, L3, L1, L3, L2, L3, L3 square. Now you can use empirical relation for this integration. Here that empirical relation has no proof. It is from benchmarking functions. Okay. Now this is your empirical relation L1 raised to alpha, L2 raised to beta, and L3 raised to gamma equal to alpha factorial, beta factorial, gamma factorial, and so on. Okay. Now this is your equation. We want to calculate the integration of L1 square. Now compare this. Okay, first term is integration of L1 square. L1 square. Okay. Now compare this with this term. Okay. Now this becomes integration of L1 raised to 2, L2 raised to 0, L3 raised to 0, L3 raised to 0 over dA. Okay. Now you put these values of alpha. This is your alpha, this is your beta, this is your gamma. Alpha is 2 factorial. Next beta is 0 factorial. Gamma is also 0 factorial. Okay. Next divide by 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2 it's a factorial into 2a. Okay. Now what is the result of this?
A by 6.
A by
6.
Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. A by 6. Have you got it? Now this is your first integration of
sir.
first term. Yes. Have you got it? Akshay Patil, have you got it?
हा येस सर बरोबर आहे आन्सर बरोबर आहे.
Now what about the integration of second term? You tell the second term. Those who have not got, you can ask me again. See here it is very simple. Don't miss it. Second term is your L1 raised to 1, L2 raised to 1. This term, and integration over dA. Here you compare again. You compare this with this equation. Okay, your alpha is 1, beta is 1. That is 1 factorial, and gamma is 0. L3 raised to 0 is there. Here it is L3 raised to 0. 1 factorial, and next is 0 factorial. Okay, divided by 1 plus 1
A by
plus
6, sir.
0, A by
6.
plus 2.
A by 12.
A
by
by
12.
12.
Yes, A by 12. Okay, A by 12. Now this is A by 12. Okay. This is A by 12. Now what about third term? Third term is also A by 12 because
A by
here
12.
it is 1, here it is 0. This term is also A by 12. This term is also A by 12. This is also A by 12. This is A by 12. This is A by 6. A by 6. Am I right? Have you got it? Now, so your integration becomes, you check these equations in these terms. Whether all these terms are correct or wrong? I think all these things are correct. Okay. Now next one I will take A by 12 common from this, and you will get A by 12 into 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay. Now this is the result of your integration. over